Good, hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about long distance relationships, and what kind of prompted this was, for those of you who don't know, that I just got back from a 3-week trip to Korea and was visiting my boyfriend Chase, who lives in Suwon, which is like 45 minutes south of Seoul by train. And it was a really great trip, and my parents got to come out there and see Suwon for the first time. It was their first time in Asia. I don't know, this just, for some reason, this return trip has hit me really hard. Being back home has been wonderful, and I'm really happy to be here, but it's just been a little bit harder than normal for me to kind of adjust back into my rhythm of life here. So I figured kind of doing this would be a little bit of a helpful reminder to me to, you know, stay focused on positive stuff and not let myself get too down. So I guess the place I would start is with the cons of long distance relationships. And I've kind of nailed down 3 specifically that I think are the ones that I tend to focus on the most. The first one being obviously that you are incredibly far away from each other. And I know that, you know, it's not everybody's case that they're halfway around the world, but I know a lot of you guys have said that you and your partner live in different countries, and that's really tough. But even 2 hours away, it's tough. And for me, it's, you know, the little things, like at night when I wake up from a bad dream and I'm by myself and it's kind of hard, or if you were at a cafe and, you know, you hear a song that you love that reminds you of that person. So that's kind of the first one. The second one is the financial difficulty associated with having to travel to and from your partner. And, you know, like I said, whether you're 2 hours away or halfway around the world, either way, you're gonna have to spend money on gas or spend money on a plane ticket. And it's especially difficult when one person or maybe both people are struggling with, you know, finances at the time, or can't get time off from work or school or whatever they're doing. And it puts a little bit of stress on the relationship sometimes. And the third and final thing that I would say is like a major con of a long distance is when you're in an argument, or if you have a disagreement. It's already pretty difficult to be so far away from someone, but it's especially difficult if you're kind of working through something to really only have like text or FaceTime. So those are the things that we all know kind of suck about long distance relationships, and those are things that I think are specifically really difficult. But I've also picked out 3 things that I think are really positive about long distance relationships and that I think counteract those cons. And the first thing is that, you know, kind of going against the difficulty of the distance thing, is that there's something really important, I think, about being on your own. I think there's something very special about taking time to self-reflect, allowing yourself, you know, a quiet time in a quiet space to be alone with your thoughts and work through problems. And I think that the relationship that I have with my boyfriend has definitely solidified that in me. It has definitely taught me the importance of being on my own. And I think that has definitely made me a better traveler. I think it's made me a stronger person. I think that it has definitely allowed me a little bit more self-confidence than I would have had in the past. The second thing is kind of in response to the crappiness of having to maybe spend some money to travel somewhere instead of just like going down the road and seeing your boyfriend or girlfriend. And that is that you kind of get a new perspective on a totally new place. One of the things that I love so much about visiting Chase in Korea is that it kind of feels like, since I've been there a few times, we've gotten over that hump of doing like the touristy stuff, and we've kind of moved into finding our own pace and kind of routine there, which is really exciting to me. It's like I have a home away from home, and I just feel very lucky to have been able to do all of this. And, you know, YouTube is one major reason that I can do it, because I can do my job from wherever there is internet. And the third and final thing that I wanted to talk about was just kind of the counterpoint to the difficulties of arguments and disagreements with someone who's not in your immediate vicinity. And I think the pro of that is that it definitely forces you to choose your words really carefully, to speak with heightened clarity, and just to, in general, be a much more effective communicator. There's just not really a lot of room to sort of create arguments where there are none, which I know happens with some people. I mean, it's tough. Sometimes you're under stress, you disagree about something really small, there's a tiny argument that turns into a big argument. But I think it has definitely kind of calmed me down a little bit in general in my life. I try really hard to kind of see things from other people's perspectives, not infer something negative right away. You know, it's definitely forced me to adapt a new mindset with respect to other people and what they might be going going through and what they're really trying to say. So again, I think it's kind of like a life skill that has come from my relationship, which I really appreciate. And you know, everybody has bad days. There are going to be times that are really, really difficult for both of you. I think the important thing to remember is that the reason that you're in the relationship in the first place is because you really care about that person. And you know, just letting yourself focus on like the good times that you have and looking forward to the next time instead of thinking about how long it's going to be until you see them definitely helps. Just like anything else, it's just a matter of trying to learn how to look at it from a more positive point of view, and that's a very, very difficult thing to do, especially when it's like very personal and emotions and feelings are there. So for those of you guys out there who are in long distance relationships, I know, you know, it's really, really tough sometimes, but we can help each other out. Please help each other out in the comments. You know, I would love to see a really cool dialogue going on about this. I just think it's really helpful to know that other people are kind of going through the same things that you are. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This weekend is Playlist Live. I'm so excited to get to meet some of you guys. I can't wait to give you hugs. It's going to be a really great event. So I will see you in Orlando. Thank you guys so much for listening. I look forward to your comments, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.